Hello and welcome to Creating Cards with Alexandra. I hope wherever you're at, you're staying warm and toasty. It is a little chilly here in Southern Illinois, but that is January, so welcome to the new year and winter. So today we're going to make a card using the Adoring Hearts stamp set, along with a fun color combination to make a faux tile technique card. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I'm going to do is bring in my trimmer. You can use a scoring board for this, which would be great as well. I have here a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white. And what we're going to do is we're going to score this every 3/4 of an inch both ways. So I'm going to take this, put it at my 3/4 mark. Okay, and then we're going to go up 2.5. And then I'm going to go up to 2.25. 3, 3 3/4, and 4.5. Okay, so that's what we have. And then I'm just going to turn it and do it again this way. So 3/4, 1.5, 2.25, 3. And then this is 3 3/4 of a paper. So then this is what we're left with. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in our fun color combination: Parakeet Party, Coastal Cabana, and Azure Afternoon. I have this pretty stamp right here, this rose, and we're going to stamp all over this. So I'm going to start with my Parakeet Party. I'm going to actually bring in a piece of scrap paper. We're just going to randomly put this all over the card. Different ways, just so it's not looking the same. Everything's in the same direction. Okay, I'll bring in my chamois here. Clean that in between. Then I'll do my Coastal Cabana. Okay, and then my Azure Afternoon. Okay, and then we're going to put our sentiment there, so I'm not too worried about that little spot that's kind of bare. A piece up there to fill out. All right, I think that looks good. Okay, there goes my ink pads. I'm just going to let that dry for a minute, make sure that that ink is dry. That's what we have so far. And then we'll go ahead and bring in, I have my Azure Afternoon cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5. Scored in the middle. And then I have a piece of white. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. I think I'll just put some Azure Afternoon little flowers at the bottom. You know what, maybe we'll do kind of the rainbow color of them. Okay, do like that. Do one parakeet and one coastal. Maybe I'll try to do like this one. I don't know if that'll work. So it's a little different. That looks okay. We're going to go with it. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and adhere that on the inside. And then we'll do our technique on our tile card. You'll be amazed at the results. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to bring this panel back in, and I have my Versamark ink pad, and I'm just gonna smash this all over the front of this panel, really inking that up. I apologize if my camera is shaking. Okay. I'm going to flip this over since I got ink on here. Oops. I just dropped my panel on the floor, so let's just go over this again. Okay. And then I'm going to pour clear embossing powder over this. And I usually start at like a top, and then I'll let it just kind of slide down the card just to make sure it covers the whole panel. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my embossing or heat gun, my heat tool. We're going to just emboss this whole panel. You'll see it get shiny. All right, so you want to make sure the whole panel was done. And then what you're left with, and I see a little spot right there. Is this very shiny tile looking piece. Isn't that pretty? So make sure that's all covered. I don't see any dry spots. Okay, so that's our panel. And then we are going to take a piece of black. So this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and we'll adhere that on there. Embossing powder is just very cool technique. I think everybody who uses it just loves it. All right, so we have that little peak of black popping out. And then I have this parakeet trim, parakeet party trim. I'm going to wrap this around the card, tie a little bow. And put it at the end there. Okay, make sure that's tight. Okay, and then we'll trim the ends. This ribbon's really cool. You can kind of fray the edges of this, kind of give it a cool effect. And then if your bow's not really where you want it to be, I like it right there, but I just kind of bow my paper, and then you can move this. Okay, but I like it right there, so we'll just keep that right there. And then I have a scrap piece of basic white, the Celebrating You sentiment. Go ahead and ink that up. And we're going to fussy cut this. Two sides of the paper, much better. This doesn't take too long. I just kind of go around moving my paper. Does not have to be perfect. And then we're going to pop this up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, looks good. Some of those dimensionals on the back. I just put a little bit more just because this is glossy now, this panel. Okay, and we'll put that in that kind of that bare spot that we had. There with that bow. Looks good. And then we'll adhere this onto the back of our Azure Afternoon. And that will be our card for the day. I hope you all try this. It's very easy, a little addictive, fun. You can make these panels as large or small as you want. You can try it with a circle, you know, a different shape. And then that's what we have, that pretty faux tile look. Celebrating You and pretty on the inside. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Please follow me on Facebook for some awesome upcoming classes that I have. I also have a host club that I still have spots for, which I would like to start in February. So if you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments below. Everything used today, of course, I will put in the description below, and then that will link you straight over to my shopping page. It's Celebration, a wonderful time of the year when you can spend $50 and get free product to use in your stamping, crafting adventures. So thank you so much and have a joyful day. Bye-bye.